Hey girl, hey! I am back with another video. Today we are talking about Uchi Management 101. Welcome to school. I'm your teacher. I won't get flagged by YouTube. We're going to be calling our Uchi our Chocho. Yeah, we're going to call it Chocho. I like when people say Chocho. I feel like that's a cute term for it. And I just don't know what words I can say on YouTube and what words will get me flagged. This video is really for my girls, and essentially we are talking about how you can manage your body better, and specifically your chocho, how you can manage your chocho better. And by manage her, what I mean is how you can use her properly, like how you can not abuse her, how you can avoid giving her up to the wrong people, how you can save yourself some heartbreak, how you can save yourself like some stress. We're going to talk about it today because I honestly and truly feel like our parents were either afraid to have the sex talk with us or just did not know how in depth that they should go. And no shade to them, but I know like my dad never had a conversation. My mom, the first time that I ever did it, I told my mom and she was like, well, I had told her like after the fact and she was like, okay, I figured that much. Like, you know, she wasn't surprised or whatever, but there was never like a super in-depth conversation. Luckily, I was on birth control. My mom is smart. Okay. Luckily, I was on birth control, but like there was never an in-depth conversation. So I think personally, there were a lot of things that I had to learn just through trial and error, honestly. And two, I feel like by the time you start having certain conversations with your parents, it's like you're already in a situation, and it's hard to make the right choice when you're already in a situation versus making the choice that your heart is telling you or the choice that, you know, lust is telling you to make. But I feel like it's different when, you know, certain things were instilled and ingrained in you, then it's easier for you to make the right choice because it's like, oh, I've been told this all my life. So we're going to talk about it because when it comes to your chocho and how you use your chocho, ignorance is not bliss. And honestly, when you know better, you do better. You know, like if you know better, you can make better choices and better decisions. And I want all of us to make better decisions. We don't have time to be stressed. We don't got time to be pressed. Right? Okay, so let's get into it. Before we get too deep into today's video, my name is Shunty Ringfield. Make sure you guys are subscribed to my YouTube channel and follow me on all platforms. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok at Shunty Ringfield. And just a disclaimer, this video is for women who have found themselves not having the best chocho management in the past and want to do better. If you're cool with where you're at, if you feel like what you've been doing has been working for you, okay, girl, click to the next video because this ain't for you, okay? This is for the girlies who have found themselves managing their chocho poorly and want to move better in a better or different way. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a few practical steps on how you can have better coochie management because I don't want us to be, I said coochie. Is it okay? I'll just bleep it out maybe. But I don't want us to be out here crying. I don't want us to be out here hurt because of our own poor decisions. You know what I mean? So the first way that you can have better management, the first step that you can take that will give you better management over your body is to have a standard, right? Having a standard means something that is unwavering. Like this is the standard. You know how you don't get gas unless you pay? Like it's no way in the world that you're ever going to go to a gas pump and gas is going to come out if you don't pay for the gas. Like you're not getting any gas if you don't pay. So that's what a standard is. It's not something that is like super fluid. It's like a pop, pop, pop. It's rigid. You know what I mean? I don't care what anyone says. The way that women and men view sex is completely different. And you can be oblivious to this fact. You can be oblivious to this fact and it will work against you and you will find yourself constantly getting the short end of the stick. Or you can just understand that it is what it is. The system is the system. You can't change it by yourself overnight. Not saying that it's right. Not saying that it'll never be, different, but I just honestly and truly believe that our brains are wired differently. You know how, for example, there are some people who grew up to be racist. So then a lot of things in our country were built on racism. Like we'll find in a lot of areas of life, things are not fair. Like the justice system, for example, you'll find that some things in the justice system are based off of racism. Like they're just not fair, or some things with housing, whatever the case may be. It's the same thing with like knowing that our society was built on patriarchy. So some things, although you may not agree with them, although you may not like it, some things may not be fair because it was built on an unfair system, but it just is what it is. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like you can ignore it. You can be oblivious to it. You can say in your head like, oh, it's the same for me as it is for him. Like we can do the same thing and it's going to be the same. You can say that in your head, but it's like in real life, in the real world, it is what it is and the system is the system. So you're going to lose if you are oblivious and you ignore the way the system is set up. I hope that makes sense. And also, I just think that masculine and feminine are meant to complement each other, meaning that they're not the same. You know what I mean? Like complements means that we're not wired the exact same. Like we fit together like a puzzle. So like you add this, I add the other piece to it, and then it works. It don't work that way if we're both the same. You know what I mean? Like if you get two puzzle pieces that are the exact same, they're never going to fit together because they're the exact same piece. But if you get two puzzle pieces that are like meant to match, they're going to lock in just like this here, you know? And I honestly feel like there are benefits to both sides of the coins, but let's get to it. Okay, have a standard. I got a little off track there, got a little derailed, but have a standard. What does it mean to have a standard? I feel like everybody has their own standards, but universally, like if you want to save yourself some headache and stress, there are basic rules and basic expectations that you can have for yourself and that you should have for yourself that will help you to manage your chocho better and to be more selective about who you give your body to. Number one, of course, if somebody is not spending time with you, like text or calls on the phone is not enough. If somebody is not like actually courting and dating you, then they don't deserve it, right? So have a standard. Like somebody who is attractive is not somebody who you should give your chocho to. Like it needs to be some type of requirement, some type of standard. It has to be a certain amount of energy and work put in. Honestly, if you're just having fun with it, honestly, I would say even if you're just having fun with it, there still has to be a level of respect. You know what I mean? Like you can't accept somebody just hitting you up at nighttime only, or somebody who has never taken in the effort to know anything about you. Like he don't even know your last name. He don't even know your favorite color. He don't even know what you like. If you a dog person, you a cat person, he don't know because he don't care. All he care about is what's in his pants. That's a no. You have to have a certain standard for yourself. And even if you're just having fun, it is good to like have a standard and a requirement because it's only going to benefit you. Like if you're in a situation where you know what it is, he know what it is, having still requiring a certain level of respect, still requiring like a certain level of effort is only going to benefit you. Like you only see this man after 12 a.m. He don't even know your last name. He don't ever put in any effort to take you out. When he say he gonna call you, he don't call you. Little to bare minimum does not get rewarded. The bare minimum does not get rewarded. No effort equals no reward. Like there is no other place, there's no other arena on this earth where you can put in absolutely nothing and get something back. You know what I mean? Number two is to be real about what you want before going into situations with people, before sharing your body with people. What do I mean by that? If you know deep down you want a relationship, do not settle for somebody who does not also want a relationship. If you know that you don't want a relationship, like if you know you really do not want a relationship like at all, then okay, cool. But the the worst thing that you can do for yourself, for your mental health, for your sanity, for your time and efforts is go into a situation thinking that you can change somebody. So, example, you like a guy, right? And y'all are talking, y'all have a good friendship. It is what it is. Y'all are both attracted to each other. You know that he's not ready for a relationship. Maybe he's told you that he's not ready for a relationship. Or maybe you just know based on his actions. Like maybe you just know that he's a playboy. Maybe you just know that he is a very unserious person. In those type of situations, be real with yourself. Like if you know that that's not what you want, don't go into situations thinking like, oh, it's going to change after we do, or, you know, I feel like a thing that a lot of women try to do and a lot of us try to do is like try to set expectations after we've already done something that we shouldn't have done because we know that our desires did not match up. So like if you know somebody is only looking for a situationship and you know that you really want to be in a relationship, like you want the consistency, you want the effort, you want the dates, you cannot give it up to somebody and then at that point you start getting your feelings and you start saying like, because it is what it already was, like you're not going to get in a situation and give up something that you found to be valuable and then like be able to turn the narrative around and say, oh, but now I want this, or oh, why you don't call me? Like he ain't been calling you. Why you don't take me on dates? He ain't been taking you on dates. And you rewarded it. You gave it to him. So you rewarded it. Once you do that with somebody that you know you're not on the same page with, it's basically telling them that, oh, okay, I agree to this situationship. If somebody tells you that they are not looking for anything and you know deep down that you are looking for something and you decide to go the extra step with them and have sex with them, the only message that you're sending at that point is that I'm okay with the situationship. You're literally telling them I'm going to settle for a situationship. You're telling them I want a relationship, but I'm going to settle for a situationship. So to get in that situation and then try to have all of these expectations and you be starting argument and you expecting loyalty, you expecting this, you expecting that, like you're playing yourself. You're playing yourself because what you should have did was walked away. What you should have did was got up and walked away because you knew that was not what you wanted. And honestly, I do not agree with like guys leading women on because sometimes, you know, a guy can say, oh, I don't want nothing, but like you different. Maybe I will down the line. I don't know what they be saying, whatever. But like, I don't agree with that, but you cannot control what other people do at the end of the day. You can only control what you do. You can only control what your girl doing. You can't control what nobody else doing with what they got, but like you can choose not to fall into certain traps. And I feel like that's a trap that I honestly feel like most women have fallen into that trap at one point in time in their lives or another. I know most of my friends have. Like, it's the old, what they call it when something is like it's the okie doke, right? We've all fallen for the okie doke before. But it's just something that you have to be straight up with yourself about. You got to be self-aware enough to know, like, okay, this is really what I want, and just don't accept anything outside of that. Okay, next is assessing your behaviors, assessing your patterns with your girl. Assess the situation. Assess the situations that you previously put yourself in so that you can do better in the future. Like, if you know that you've made poor decisions because you were just bored or because you were just lonely, address the boredom, address the loneliness. Maybe you need to get another job. Maybe you need to add some hobbies to your plate. Maybe you need to spend more time with your friends and family. You know, like address the situation, address why it is that you've made poor decisions in the past. If you always make bad decisions when you get drunk, if you get loosey-goosey when you get drunk and you wake up the next day every time like, oh my gosh, I should not have called him. I should not have checked him. Why did I go for his house? Address that. Like maybe you need to cut back on the alcohol. Maybe you got to have a drink minimum before you go out. You know what I mean? And I feel like it can be hard to want to do those things because it's like, I want to go out and I want to have fun. I want to have a blast. But then it's like, do you have to get sloppy drunk to have fun? Do you have to get drunk to the point where your decision making and your judgment is clouded to have fun? Is that really fun? Are you really having fun if you go out and you have to get drunk to the point where you make poor decisions and you make decisions that you regret when you're sober? Is that really fun? Like, did you really feel good after? Did you feel satisfied in the morning? I feel like you didn't, because if you did, you wouldn't be questioning it. When you like what you did, then you don't question it the next morning. You don't say the next morning like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Like, clearly it's not as fun as we're making it seem. So I feel like digging deeper, figuring out what that is. We got to clean up shop sometimes and address the elephant in the room. Like, maybe find other ways to have fun. Maybe you need to get a therapist. Maybe you need to talk to your friends about it. Maybe you need to talk to your mom about it. Like, there is something that needs to be addressed, a hole that needs to be filled, a void that needs to be filled, so that you can stop putting yourself in compromising positions or putting yourself in positions that don't make you happy. The only way that you can change is by doing something different. If you do the same exact thing over and over and over again, you're going to get the same exact results over and over again. So the only way to break a habit or break a cycle that you have is literally by putting on your binoculars, putting on your magnifying glass, your magnifying eyeglass, and assessing the situation and the behaviors that you have from the inside out. It can be ugly. Honestly, it can be ugly. It can be lonely at first, but I feel like on the other side of having better Uchi management, better Chocho management is a lot of happiness, is a lot of bliss. It's stress-free, and it's just like, oh my gosh, the light at the end of the tunnel. Where there was a point in time in my life where I had to sit down and have like a face-to-face conversation with myself. Like, girl, what is it giving right now? Like, you're not eating. This stage of life is giving very much low vibrational. You know what I mean? And I push for all women to have that phase and that state, because I genuinely believe that when you are more selective with your body, when you're selective about who you share your body with, I think that you find yourself being in a happier space, honestly. And yeah, you can't settle for cheap dopamine. I feel like we talk about how scrolling on social media is cheap dopamine, but there are so many other forms of cheap dopamine as well, like constantly getting drunk, having sex with people who, you really shouldn't be. There are so many little highs in life that we can chase, and it's easy to do that because they're normalized. Society is set up for us to chase those things. Social media pushes it. The media pushes it. Music pushes it. But it's like, sometimes we got to find a way to like elevate and vibrate higher. I feel like if you made it this far on this video, I hope that you found some of these tips helpful. Today was like cute, short, and sweet, but hopefully it got straight to the point growl. If y'all want a second video on this, let me know and I will make one. Please comment below if you liked any of these tips, and if you have any ones that you should add. We love a good conversation in the comment section. And please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me across all platforms. I love you guys so much, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.